Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Whoscussion. We are hosts from Whānau, That Random Guy, and the audibly pleasing Harriet Scully.
Hi.
Aye, laddie. For part A, we're going to be covering Something Borrowed and from Out of the Rain. And for part B, we're going to be covering A Life in the Day, the first episode in season 4 of Dark Eyes. And Invention, the Invention of Death, the first serial. Right. That's right.
I feel I should have some input here because you didn't introduce me.
Oh, sorry, my lad. I bloody hell. Hang on. The Invention of Death is the first serial in the First Doctor Volume 2. Of course, we have with us the late Crow. The late Crow, tell us about what you do here on YouTube Land.
So I make short film projects and various doodahs, which I put on my YouTube channel for the public viewing on my quest to become a better filmmaker and writer. And
I hopefully will join you as your right, left, Macarena hands in that adventure. Macarena. Damn, that actually reminds me of this joke they did in the Final Fantasy X dub. It's only in the English dub of Final Fantasy X where Tidus goes, "Are we to some place called Macarena?" And Waka goes, "You mean Macarena?" And Tidus just goes, "Aye?" And it is only in the English dub. It's, oh man. So the Late Crow's YouTube channel is available in the description there. So for Something Borrowed, as the onus is on me for us having to go through New Who, I'll be doing the part B, both the stories. So Something Borrowed happened. So we're going to go on to From Out of the Rain. So Gwen is on a mission and she's fighting this. She's following this creature. She goes into a men's bathroom and this random guy walks out of it. And she doesn't just fill him full of holes, because clearly he's the shapeshifter. They're in the middle of nowhere restroom. Like, if she had shot the wrong guy, yeah, that would have been bad. But then, Jack could have just retconned her, so whatever. But, this is it's quite clearly the shapeshifter. I would have taken the shot. Maybe I'm just a bad person. I probably am. But I would have just shot the thing, and then this whole episode would have been over in the first minute. It would have been like, outside the government, beyond the episode's already over. We'll get you next week, guys.
I thought they had taser guns as well.
So
she should have just lasered him instead of actually firing.
Yeah, they do have taser guns, right? That's what they shoot the Weevils with.
Exactly. So, why is she even carrying a real gun in this scenario? So
that's a bloody good point. So anyway, this thing, whenever it does anything, no matter what it is, the frame rate drops to about 3 per second. And I'm not entirely sure why. Now, for our gamer listeners out there, you probably know the concept of frame skipping. And that seems to happen in this episode. I don't know how that's happening since it's recorded using film, but there we go. So it's a whole lot of frame skipping's happening. And Gwen's chasing this monster down as the frame skips around her. And she's like, "Oh my God, Jack, there's a temporal something or other." She doesn't actually say that, but maybe that could have explained why the editing was so bad. She ends up fighting this creature, and then it bites her. Jack Super Saiyan level 2's it. It dies. And he's like, "Gwen, you okay?" And she's like, "It's all right." And then I've got to go to a piss up tonight. So she goes to a piss up, and these characters are like, "Gwen, isn't it great? We've been in this series since the beginning." She's like, "It sure is, nameless character." And so she's hanging out with these nameless characters and like,
correct.
And one of her bridesmaids is like, "Greece has a giant cook," and that's a reference to the American beverage. And so it jumps to the next day. Gwen wakes up and she realizes that she might have had too much Coke last night and is heavily pregnant. And she's like, "What's going on, bloody hell, Jack?" And it goes, "Ding, ding,
I just want to point something out real quick, though.
Yes.
So we see her lying in bed, just waking up, right? Mm-hmm. And she's very clearly not pregnant at that point. And she gets up, and then suddenly she is all of a sudden. It's pretty
great.
While we're here, while we're here, I'm pretty sure having a heavily pregnant stomach in places where you didn't, you would notice that immediately upon waking.
Yeah, you would have noticed the pressure on your lower spine immediately.
Yeah. Or if it's actually in your womb, then it would be pushing.
We're going to talk about that later.
A lot of stuff.
We're going to be talking about that quite a bit later. She wouldn't just be like, "Oh, I'm bloody pregnant." She'd be like, "Oh. And then as she tries to sit up, like, "Horace, bloody Horace." And then he would have been like, "I'm not there, Gwen. I'm in another place because of Western tradition, Gwen."
Correct, actually.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I see. And so she's like, I'm gonna have to tell Reese and the team's like, "Guys, she's heavily pregnant. Outside the government, beyond the police." And then Yanto, he goes, "Guys, we need to have actually a serious conversation. I'm Welsh too. That doesn't seem to get brought up a hell of a lot. But also, why did we send her out on a mission the night before her wedding?" And then everybody looks around, and then they turn around, and then they break the fourth wall, and they turn the camera around to the director and the writer, and they're like, "We honestly can't tell you." And like, cool.
Reese actually even asked Gwen that as well.
Yeah, why did you go to work the night before your wedding when you work for a place that's super dangerous and filled with alien stuff? And she's like, bloody hell, Reese, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, bloody hell, Gwen. I love the way he says that. The way he says Gwen it's just amazing. It's like even more, it's like they try to out-Welsh each other when they talk to each other. It's great. Like, bloody hell, Gwen. Like that.
Yeah.
So
it's exactly like that.
But they're like, okay, cool. So Yanto decides to go ahead and find a dress for Gwen. And come on, wardrobe department. Like, you guys, there are so many dresses BBC have access to. You could have got one that looked way better than this. Just saying. Hashtag just saying. So she's all bloody pregnant. And then she decides to tell her parents. And she's like, Mum, Dad, I'm bloody pregnant. And they both go, bloody hell, Gwen. And that's the extent of it.
Just trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole episode. It's just bloody hell, Gwen.
Bloody hell, Gwen.
That's what it should have been called. It should have been called.
Oh, it should have been called bloody hell, Gwen. That would have been great. So anyway, bloody hell, Gwen. And then her parents look at each other and go, you know what's pretty cool? Is that they bring us back for season 4. And like, yeah, but season 4 was total and utter arse. Yeah, but at least we got brought back. A little bit of continuity there. Cracks are going to wipe us out. So Jack's like, okay, guys, we need to do that thing we should have done last night. Because what's really crazy is like straight after Owen died, we did an autopsy. But for some reason, we waited until this morning to do an autopsy after we found out Gwen was pregnant. Owen, you're dead. Tell us what's going on with this other dead person. Like, well, Jack, they're actually a Nostrovite. And then everyone who's ever seen this episode goes, oh my God, really? A Nostrovite.
Yep.
And I'm just saying to myself, yeah. Oh, I can, Nostrovite, I do. I'm just saying to myself, there are already stuff like this. There's so much stuff within the actual lore that you don't need to make up new stuff. And Jack goes, God damn it, Owen, you're dead, but you're dead good. And I was like, I don't even know where you were going with that, Jack. It's alright, it's called reaching. So Yanto goes, oh, I know about reaching. Jack, I know about bloody reaching. Remember when my memories got changed and I killed those girls? Jack, that wasn't my memory changing. I was destroyed by your bad puns from last Whoscussion. So, that's what happened. Anyway, they're all turned up at the thing. Everybody's like, hey, where's Banana Boat? And then I was like, really? Ring, 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 ring. Banana Boat.
Banana Boat.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana Boat. So Banana Boat's there, and some other person is there. I think he might have been doing the interior decorating. I don't know. But they're all like, hey, sexy lady, I like your flow. Because it's like, the early 2000s. And there's this random lady there, and she's all like, I'm here being overtly sexual to everybody. You're like, good God, lady, what are you doing over there all alone? Oh, you bloody hell, Gwen. And it turns out that this lady's actually a monster creature thing. That's actually the parent, the mother of the baby that Gwen is carrying. Who even cares at this point? So whatever, this lady turns up, she's like ogling people. And Banana Boat's trying to get into Tosh. And he's like, bloody hell, Tosh, are you Japanese? And she's like, oh, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my character trait at this point. And he's like, oh, bloody hell, I'm Banana Boat. You want to see my Banana Boat, lass? And she's like, not particularly. He's like, this is pretty much the interaction we have this whole episode. So she just gets hit on by Banana Boat. They end up together. It turns out Banana Boat's not as well hung as he once thought he was. I'm talking about getting hung out to dry here for you kids listening. And they get captured. They get put in the web because they can't kill Tosh yet. It's not there, it's not light enough in the season. So she gets captured and put in a spider's web scenario. The creature starts like morphing into other people. There's just this huge hullabaloo. It turns into people. Gwen has a moment where she's like, Jack, I want to have sex with you so bad, Jack. And he's like, God, for the kids listening, that means to dance, by the way. And and then it turns out that it's a shapeshifter. And she's like, oh man, why are we having these moments where it's like Jack and Gwen have been like a couple? Season 1, guys. I know it didn't happen, but Yanto tried to make it happen, and Big Finish have tried to make it happen too. No Big Finish. Naughty. So they come over and they're all like, hey, we're going to stop this creature. And then Jack goes, I'm going to need a bigger gun. Then he walks off, and then he gets this gun that may or may not have been picked up from, I don't know how to say this like sensitively, but those shops that are run by people generally from outside of New Zealand, England, Australia, America, and they have knockoff products in them. And this gun looks like a knockoff product gun.
PCs,
It's
just
a knockoff shop.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, knockoff shop. So there was a knockoff shop. He went to the knockoff shop and picked up this gun, and then he blows up Reese's mum. But also Reese was shown by Owen how to use that thing they introduced during Martha's episodes? Question mark.
The singularity scalpel.
Yeah, this. Oh, shut up.
Continuity.
Shut up. The singularity. Shut up. So he uses the Owen machine gun thing, and he goes, "Oh bloody hell, Gwen! I need to use it to save you, Gwen." And then he like attacks the thing and it disintegrates. And everybody's like, yep, that's the end of the scenario. And I'm like, no, there is so much fluid Gwen would have to pass after that.
I mean, unless it destroyed it all. But
yeah, no,
still.
so there's the fluid though. The body would have instantly put fluid there with this thing incubating in her. Okay, do you guys know what afterbirth is? Because that would have happened.
Yeah,
and
it really depends on how this function works. As well.
It does. But if it's in her womb and it's like incubating in her body would have gone, there is something there that's there. It's like when tumors grow there as well, and it starts putting the incubational fluid there. Yeah. So it would have added to the swelling of her stomach. So I'm just like, there is stuff that needs to come out of her, then that needs to happen. And everybody's like, it's over. Thank God none of us know biology. Outside the government, beyond the police. So the singularity scalpel also got rid of the fluid. There we go, it's fixed. Yay. Yeah. Big Finish is like, okay guys, we've got to fix it, bloody hell, Gwen. And then Nick Briggs is like, why did I do that in Reese's voice? And Kai Owen is like, bloody hell, Nick. I love you, Kai Owen. Please come to Armageddon.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to be Kai Owen so bad. So anyway, they're all like happy-go-lucky, and then everybody starts like passing out at the what's it called afterwards? I was gonna say awake, but that's for dead people.
The reception.
So they're at the reception, and they're like, everybody's been retconned.
Level 6.
Level 6 retcon. We don't even know what that means. I'm guessing it turns your hair blue. And they're like,
no, it means that they've retconned the season 1.
Oh no. So here's my issue with containing this problem is there are people who would have left after the shooting started.
Yeah.
Possibly everybody even. So, you know, they're just lucky that everyone Gwen and Reese know are really thick-skinned.
Stupid.
Oh, bloody hell, Gwen. Always got your friends shooting people. Oh, bloody hell, ever since you were 9 years old, you hopped on that bus.
How are they gonna retcon away the fact that someone's groin got eaten by a shapeshifter?
Yeah. Also, why did he turn into like a flat? Why did he become flat after he got attacked?
I don't know.
Does anybody know?
Because the inflatable body double they had deflated when no one bothered to check. Probably.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. That was outside the government beyond the thrift store. So everybody gets retconned. It's just, man, they're just lucky that and the guy got killed. Wasn't he working for like a company that was working there? How do they explain that away? They'll just do episode 1, season 1. Because it hasn't happened before, so this is a brand new situation for Toshiko.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Susie comes in and goes, hey guys, I'm sorry I missed your wedding. And then they all look at her and go, who are you? Guys, I'm Susie, I'm from season 1. Oh God, we must have had too much retcon.
No, season 1!
Lisa walks in and goes, I guess I'm alive now, guys. And Yato's like, no, you're dead. You're dead. It makes it okay to me, otherwise I'd be cheating on you with Jack. Bloody hell, Lisa! And then Reese gets up and goes,
Yanto's the one that's cursed with the knowledge of season 1. He's the only one who remembers.
He's
Everyone
cursed.
else got retconned.
Yeah, Big Finish, please make that a
They would
thing.
actually be hilarious. Like, something happened that caused Yanto to have to retcon everybody's knowledge of the entirety of season 1. Perfect.
Absolutely fixed. So, I mean, whoever wants to go next, I'm done. Something borrowed happened. Who wants to go after
I'll
that?
go.
There we go. Cool, thank you.
All right, here we go. Let's get through this. They start the episode with a flashback. That's a no-no from the very split second the episode starts.
Because anime.
Right. Okay, just like, yeah, whatever. We know it sucks. Okay, so Gwen's doing her mission thing, whatever, and Owen's like, this thing eats people. And I'm like, this information would have been given to you before you got out on this mission, right?
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
The Hindu is pretty cringy, to be honest. I don't know if that's how they actually go down, but it seems pretty cringy the way it was going. Like it was written by someone who's never been to an actual Hindu, probably.
Yes,
well, given that it was written by a guy, it's 100% what happened.
Ooh.
Gwen Cooper, you're bloody nicked.
Yeah. It was what would happen if women were males.
Correct.
It's what would happen if it was a stag do, but you only had female mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so Gwen.
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's if her maiden was a man, so he's the one who set it up for her. That's what happened. That's what it is. There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so Gwen's doing the thing with the shapeshifter, and she shoots the thing and backs off, but otherwise it's unhurt. Okay, so you kind of go, oh, okay, gunfire doesn't affect it. Then Jack comes along and I can shoot it because I can, and I'm Jack. And then. So I'm just like, and that can do that the whole episode. The consistency of whether or not gunfire actually works on these things is so inconsistent. It's annoying.
No, it's some sort of mothering instinct that has made it.
But this first one wasn't the mother. This first one wasn't the mother, though.
Scully's grasping onto reality. Please, someone save me.
Holy shit. It's so bad.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And this next issue, we've all brought it up, is kind of the crux, the kind of point of the whole episode breaking is you should have just waited a couple of days and then gone through the wedding then. It would, everyone else, even the rest of Torch would say to it, even Reese goes, yeah, let's just postpone this. And then Gwen's like, what about me?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's so bad.
Basically, this entire thing could have been thwarted as if Gwen wasn't a selfish brood.
Yeah.
Basically.
I agree.
And
If she just had thought about anyone else,
exactly.
this would have been it solved. It's amazing that she's supposed to be the human character.
Yeah.
And everyone else is thinking about what other people will think. Like, what?
Yeah, even like the immortal, like unhinged person is like, that's dumb. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, later in the episode, she's like, what are the patterns going to think? And it's just like, if you had just done what everyone said you should have done, this would not be an issue right now. This whole episode would not be an issue right now. Okay. So anyway, carrying on. Let's get past this. So one line that made me chuckle is Owen says, because they're going to the wedding, whatever, who gives a shit.
Not the writers, that's for sure.
Well, that's obvious. You know that because Torchwood, that's kind of the giveaway. So Tosh comes down in a dress and Owen says, drop dead gorgeous. And I was like, ha! And that was about my reaction to
It's
that.
like, you know that meme? I get it!
Yeah, I couldn't help but comment that Reese's green stripy shirt is just like, is he auditioning for Blue's Clues, which is probably a better show at this point? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, because at least in Blue's Clues, they sit down in their thinking chairs and think, which none of the writers ever do.
Exactly. All right. So I'm pretty sure that at the very start of the episode, they were well aware that this thing's a shapeshifter. Like, this thing changes shape, Jack. And
Tell me, Jack.
So why does it seem to, the whole shapeshifting thing seem to be like, guys, we've just found out in the middle of the episode, the first act totally didn't happen, guys. This thing's a shapeshifter, and everyone's like, oh my god. And then
Not like we didn't know that already, but okay.
so it's just the whole scene is unnecessary there. It's just like, we're having a dramatic scene because we need to reveal all the information because audiences have forgotten that the first act happened because we've forgotten it and no one's even watching.
No one was watching it in the first place.
This reminds me of Harriet Skelly's constant complaint with this show, is their own continuity isn't followed, and it's because no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
None of them even care. Zero of them care. It seems like most of the time, halfway through, writer changes, and then, but also while they're filming, after they finish writing it, then while they're filming, the director also gets changed just immediately.
Director of photography, just
suddenly everyone's just switched out. Like,
guys, I've got it. So you know how you have that sort of those tour things where the public can go and visit the sets and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
What actually happens, the filming happens, is that they let the public come in and have a turn at filming a sequence. That's it. That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, possibly, or maybe there's someone, maybe at BBC Wales they have the Mad Hatter working there, and just occasionally in the middle of filming, he'll just be like, "Everybody, change places." So
Yes.
the director becomes the grip, and then
The runner boy.
Yeah, the runner boy, and the runner boy becomes the director, and it's
Perfect.
That's exactly it.
Actual perfection.
That is canonically, factually what happened.
Perfect. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, in an ideal world, Torchwood is actually kept secret. They're actually outside the government, actually outside the police. Let's pretend for a moment that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not outside Gwen's great gob because she keeps telling everyone, "Oh, I work for Torchwood."
All of it's real. All of it's bloody real, Gwen.
Stop telling everyone. You're supposed to not do that. You used to work for the police. You should know how to not talk about your job. Okay, right. So that lady, that overtly sexual monster lady, right. Obviously I've never planned nor done a wedding, but I've been to a couple, and I'm pretty sure that everyone that attends is personally invited by the bride and groom. So
Correct.
why has neither Reese nor Gwen realised they have no idea who this person is?
Do they share a scene? Question.
Because there are
Plus ones.
wedding crash and plus ones.
Oh, yeah, and reading questions. Questions?
There are people who will just show up, especially when it's like a catered wedding. There's a lot of the time people can just show up.
Oh, right.
Obviously, you would expect really in the line of work that Gwen is in that she would not have an open wedding, but I don't know. Seems really dumb. They have like gone into the middle of nowhere as well, so it could they could have just assumed that it was one of the locals, like someone who lives nearby, or even just one of the catering people. Like have those.
Yeah,
So,
I guess.
But yeah, the thing is that like I don't think they do actually share a scene with them.
Yeah.
Until they're doing the actual walking down the aisle. And that's when she's there. But she's sitting on Gwen's side of the aisle, right? So you'd expect Gwen to look over and be like, I don't know you.
Yeah, especially since she was a police officer. But if season 1 didn't happen, was she?
Yeah. True.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only scene. But if they'd shared any other scenes, they would also kind of make sense. But I think the main reason why she gets away with it is because she's in the form of a relatively attractive middle-aged woman. So there's a lot of nasty dudes who want to hit on her. So there you go.
Okay. It's all for the sake of making some sex jokes. Hooray, Torchwood.
Humanity.
Okay, right. So the geography of this whole area that the wedding's happening seems a little bit fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure they established some small distance between the house thing and the actual hall where the reception or the ceremony is happening, right?
I knew this was coming.
So there's a bit of a distance going on there, right? And so the monster does the thing, and Jack's like, Yanto, get up! Oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself. The bridesmaid walks in on the dead body. She runs off screaming. Jack's like, Yanto, go contain that. And Yanto sprints off after her. Are you telling me that someone who's hype or supposedly trained special ops style to work with aliens could not catch up with a hysterical bridesmaid over that distance?
Correct.
Really?
Yeah. Yanto isn't fast.
Especially somebody who had been on the piss the night before, like heavily pissed.
Yeah. But she should not be in a good mindset right now, unless she's taking drugs. She's probably just taking drugs. Let's be honest.
She should have just fainted. Honestly.
Yeah, but people do that too often. I think it's more realistic that someone runs away. But he should have easily have caught her. Yeah.
What they needed then is just have a scene, or just a filler shot of just her running and just Ianto kind of power walking behind her, just going, "I am not fast," and then they'll be fine.
He looks directly at the camera. He goes, "I am not fast," and then that's it.
Although I do love his
I'm saying
I do love once the kind of situations once she gets to everyone and starts screaming her head off. I do love his deadpan. Jack, the situation is uncontained. Like, I do not care at all about this. I'm just informing you of this fact.
I literally gave up 2 episodes ago, so
okay, right. So so the monster thing is they have a monster thing confrontation. I don't even know where we are in the episode. I don't even care.
Did you even listen to my breakdown? Where was I during most of that?
Yeah.
The thing about it is that a lot of it doesn't flow properly. So you feel like you're at the beginning when you're actually at the end of it.
Yeah,
with that flashback that immediately ruins pacing. But the fact that like they go to get married and then Jack runs in and then they go to get married again later on as well.
Yeah.
This is the same events happening over again.
Okay.
They really mess your brain up.
But at one of the confrontations, I don't even care which one. So Jack had the thing at point blank range. So did Tosh. How did both of them miss her? How? She says, "I'm going to jump through a window," and Jack's like, "Oh my god, our aim works. Gwen, we need another training session. Let's get on that."
That one training session that we had in season 1, it's the basis of this entire relationship.
Yeah, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Why put Yanto and Jack together if you want Gwen and Jack to be together? That's why I'm so glad season 3 is like, and none of that happened. But you know what's really weird? Season 3 was completely and utterly helmed by Russell T Davies. Does that make anybody else uncomfortable about Series 11?
Well, maybe. Everyone gets better. I mean, Russell's, except for Moffat, obviously, but he got way worse. But Russell T Davies got significantly better. And our new series 11 guy is he was really good for things. So
not who
knows things, but things. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I love this podcast.
All right, so Gwen's mother gets grabbed at some point. Gwen gives zero emotive response to this. Like, actually none. Her face does nothing. It's like, it's your mother, Gwen. Really? Nothing?
Yeah, the human character. She is the human one.
Okay, that needs to be a thing that we do now. She's the human character.
A family picture.
A family picture.
Oh, she's the human character. Tell me, Jack. Right, okay.
I wrote down, fudge this. Well, actually, I didn't write fudge. I wrote the full word of that. Fudge this Gwen Jack scene. Yeah, it wasn't Jack, but Gwen was still 100% willing to go ahead with this. Like, she was fully into him there. Yeah. Until she realized it was shapeshifter, but still.
You know what's great? I had to remember that scene happened because I got up off my chair to get something to drink and come back, and I hadn't paused the episode. And I was like, I'll just wing it. And
I don't care. I don't need to see it.
And then you watch that scene again, you poor person.
Yeah.
All right, so that bigger gun assembly ad, did they pull that, like, did they just recolor footage from a Nerf ad when they're assembling it? Because that's what it felt like.
It was pretty good.
Also, the display on the Singularity scalpel, I was like, whatever, continuity for having the device, but your display on the thing is entirely different from the last time it was used, so good job there.
Yeah, it was outside the government, beyond the police at the time. That's why it changed.
Yeah.
Also, why the actual hell did the shapeshifter decide, final confrontation, let's change back to the shape of Reese's mother, even though this disguise is foiled now, let's do that. Why?
I feel like the scenes between the 2 times they showed Reese's mother had been shot after the fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they realized that it only filmed half an hour, and they were told, oh, you've actually got to film for 45 minutes. And the director, who was actually the rigging boy at the time, was like, oh, shit.
That was a legitimate response to that information.
Actually. Okay, so Gwen's walking down the aisle, and they do that thing where the mother's all like, I'm looking dramatic. And they establish, of all the few things they managed to establish, they establish that the mother has a sort of, not telepathic, but connection to her offspring, right? They establish that, right?
Yeah.
So when the Singularity scalpel bullshittery plot device thing dissipates it, that mother should have gone, oh shit, my plan's foiled, immediately. Gone, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really applied by the audio they kept playing, but it still does seem like it really should have been like that.
Yeah, she walked in and she was like, I still legitimately think Gwen's pregnant. And I'm like, but aren't you guys meant to be like loving parasite people?
Yeah, it's like, isn't that how you know that she's got the kid in the first place? Because you weren't anywhere nearby prior to this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we just have a flashback to all this time where she's accidentally ripped open all these actual, just genuinely pregnant people. Wrong one. Whoops. My bad.
It would have actually been great.
Looks at the camera and shrugs, what can you do?
Womp, womp, womp. Like,
that would have been a way better thing to fill this out with, actually. It's just like someone else is pregnant at the wedding and they're the ones that get ripped open. Instead of that fat guy, it should have just been a pregnant lady that should like coerced her up, like trying to be like a nursey sort of deal, and then just like ripped her open, found it was a human baby, and then been like,
whoops.
Whoops. And the baby's like, hey, you mind putting me back in? I got like 2 months left in here. I'm walking here. Like, it would have been great.
Like the baby from Her Friend Roger.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, the show's already a cartoon. We established that last discussion.
Speaking of cartoony,
No.
they reference a far better movie and series, which pissed me off. Just like, Jack's like, you're going all, I love the whole Evil Dead look. And I'm like, no, Evil Dead knows it is.
No.
Evil Dead knows it knows it's camp and it's awesome. You are not allowed to reference it. You're not allowed to reference anything, actually. No.
No, just stop. Bad Torchwood.
Yes. And then, so the ceremony happens. I love that, despite the fact that earlier in the episode, Owen's all like, oh yeah, I'll pull out a suit and dancing shoes. Where was that at the end of this episode? He just like, sit there in a t-shirt. Everyone else has got nice clothes. I was just there, just in a casual t-shirt and jeans.
You know what would have been great is, you know how he's dead, as if him and Tosh start dancing and they start playing Thriller. That'd have been great.
But also, was Owen wearing a daffodil? Just like, wrong ceremony, dude.
I love how you were so disconnected with the narrative, you realized he was wearing a daffodil.
That's beautiful.
It's so good. It's like you're tipping your glass in your hat moment. Well done, kiddo. You smell the daffodil. I like to see the ray of light in people, especially dead characters like Owen.
It's like, I disengaged from the story a long time ago. Like, almost immediately into the. It was a trudge to get through this one.
Oh man, I just love like Harriet Kelly's response to saying, "Oh my god, I've seen enough crimes to know where this is going."
And that concludes my thoughts on this episode.
Right, guys. Well, that's all the time we've got for this whole episode this week.
I haven't even started.
Yes. Hey, yeah. Actually, let's do this. Let's swing Low Sweet Cheerio coming forth to carry me home, and then drown me in my own bathtub until it's all over and there's nothing left.
Sweet Cheerio
coming forth to carry me over the talking skeleton. All right. So, what have we got here at Skelly? Lay it on me. Lay it bare bones even.
Okay, so Gwen's a terrible person. We know this.
Yes.
Yeah. This episode just like furthers that fact. To going to work when it's about to be a wedding. Basically, what's the word I'm looking for here? Scuffing off of her friends to work instead of come to her own stag do. That is actually what it was.
Yeah.
You know, why? Like, kind of just no. Please stop. Why are we still watching this?
Don't worry, we've only got one season left of it.
Yeah, at least that season's good.
Yeah, I really hope that's not rose-tinted goggles. We better not get to that season and it's bad, because I'm not going to be happy.
I'm pretty sure it's good, because it's when Russell was actually a sudden. Anyway, so there's a whole lot of things in here around in the beginning that just don't go anywhere, and it's so... There's so much unnecessary bullshit in this, and the only things that they like try to keep continuous, like try to bring from the continuity into this, are dumb things, like the quantum singularity, the quantum singularity scalpel.
I love that you know its name. Like you just make my day when you say its name. Thank you.
Singularity scalpel.
Ooh, ASMR, the new Doctor Who.
But yeah, the thing that really gets me is that if Jack had just said immediately and just been like, hey, we're not doing this, and Gwen in her stubbornness is like, yeah, no, I'm still going to go through with it, and Jack just says, no, straight up, I'm not letting this happen, because I actually am the boss of you, and actually have all the skills and technical requirements to keep you in here forever, so no. And that would have been the end of the episode. Credits roll, it's fine. Like, that's it.
For that matter, Reese, given that Reese also protests to King of the wedding, given that he's kind of like one of the legal participants, surely his word, if he says, nah, let's put it off, that's a done deal, done, sorry.
Exactly. He should have just been like, no, I'm not marrying you while you let you ruin life again. That's pretty much it. It's fair, considering all the things that...
Yeah, also considering the fact that Gwen said, I'm sick and tired of Reese having to put up with my crap, and it has been crap, Jack. I just want to marry him. Don't you understand that, Reese? All I want today, Reese Williams, is to marry you. That's all I want. Yeah. And Reese could have been like, I love you, and if you aren't clinically retarded, you would actually realize that we shouldn't do this today. And if you love me, you would respect that, because you have a baby that isn't even human inside you right now.
Yeah. And also, both of our sets of parents are coming. They've probably seen us in the last 9 months, and are probably well aware that you weren't pregnant back then. So how are we supposed to deal with this, like, at all?
They do have that dialogue that implies her parents haven't actually seen her since she started their new job.
Her parents, but
well, I
like,
do love...
Please talk to them. Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
I do love that Gwen's mother is just like actually full on gleeful about the prospect of what Reese's mother will think.
Yeah, the hatred between their parents is pretty fantastic. But yeah, it's just that's just the thing that gets me. The whole thing is that the premise is completely just null and void, basically, and it ruins just getting anywhere into it otherwise. So just within the first 5 minutes, I'm just out. I'm checked out. I'm done. Like, I don't want to watch the rest of it, but I have to for this. Thanks.
I may or may not have only been half of the side of agreeing to making a Doctor Who podcast.
I know. Goddamn past me. He's a bastard. 2020 hindsight. Yeah, so what else is there? The name of this shapeshifter is not... It doesn't mean anything other than them referencing Nosferatu, which is pointless. It's not a vampire. It's not a vampire. It's not a vampire.
Did you know that Nostrovia is a mispronunciation of a Russian word which is traditionally used as a common toast, meaning good health or cheers?
Oh, I see now. No, I don't.
It's not relevant to that. It is very much just Nosferatu.
Are they having a bar mitzvah? I mean, what?
Yeah, but
neither of them are.
Nostrovia isn't relevant to this either. So.
No, it's really not. Because they just keep saying it over and over again. The Nostrovite. It's like what you're trying to say is shapeshifter. I can understand that some of you might have a bit of a lisp and have a bit of a hard time saying that, but it wouldn't be any harder than saying Nostrovite. You know?
How do they know what Nostrovites are?
Exactly. That too. Like immediately they've got like he pulls out the organ and he's like, oh, it's a Nostrovite thing. It's like, what? No. Why would you know that unless you've seen one before? And if you've seen one, you should understand. The deal was immediately as soon as there was a shapeshifter, you should have been like, "Oh, it's probably a Nostrovite." Like you didn't need to do this, and you didn't need to give it this weird name. Yeah, you could have just they were just changing out shapeshifter with a name for something, and that's getting further away from the audience. There's a bunch of other not good sci-fis that do that, where they name something completely something that people know about already, and then give it a random name.
Yeah.
Instead of just calling it what it is.
That reminds me of this book where Harriet Skelly got me to rewrite one of the words because it was just a dumb sci-fi word, and we read it with, I can't say the word here, but it made it so much better. Don't do dumb sci-fi names, please.
Yeah, dumb sci-fi names don't work, and this really really puts the nail in the coffin for this, because there was no reason to do it, and it made it more campy than it already was, and it's already pretty campy. So, yeah, there's no, I don't think there's any real redeemable qualities of this episode at all.
Yeah, there is. It's called the ending credits, and that tells you it's over.
The end. The end of it. But even then, if we just not had this episode, we even need the end. Like, just if they wanted to do a vampire episode, they should have done a vampire episode, right? Mm-hmm. If they wanted to do the Thing, which kind of seems like
I feel like that's what they were going for, yeah.
With the shapeshifter stuff, then they should have just done the Thing. It would have.
They don't have the budget for the Thing. Have you seen the original Thing? It's so beautiful.
The thing
actually is.
It is actually beautiful. Just I'm gonna go watch that after this. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that they could have done it like in a different way where you'd never see the creature properly until way later.
Yes, please.
Or just like shadows.
Because then you'll be like, who is the monster?
Exactly. Like there's plenty of stuff like that, and that's the thing is that like immediately there's these confrontations that are happening, but it should have just been whatever this creature was bit Gwen, and then once like she got to her wedding, that's when it's like all of a sudden it's like crawled out of her, or even that like it's not the real her who's like woken up and gone to this wedding. And then she shows up later and she's like, that's not me, that's not me, Reese, that's not me.
And then Reese says, bloody hell, Gwen.
Yeah, because then you
because then
it could have been like, does anybody disagree with this wedding? And then it could have been like, that's not bloody me, Reese.
No, but I think so I think it's that like so we start off with the normal wedding stuff, right? It's just it's about to go through the wedding. Then people start dying at the wedding stuff. No one knows who it is. But and then once Torchwood shows up to like try and figure it out and stuff, and then right at the very end when they still haven't figured out who it is, but for some reason Gwen's still going ahead with the wedding because she's like that. She's just like that apparently. Even though everyone around her, everyone in her life is just suddenly dying around her, and then the real Gwen shows up and it's like, that's not me, and then she turns into the big crazy claymation monster and tries to eat Reese.
Oh yes,
the gun. That would have been way better.
It would have been.
And Reese could have even they could have even had like a chase, and then Reese gets the chainsaw and actually kills it, because it would have been way better if Reese killed the monster. I feel like that was with the chainsaw, because like not only could you even do the Evil Dead looks good on you because he would have like had the blood of the creature all over his face and stuff, but also like this is meant to be like Gwen and Reese being together finally, so Reese should have had input here.
And then it got ruined in the end of this episode where like Jack shows up, saves the day for both of them, but then he also like does this real flirty pick her up and put her down. Like, what's the point of this? You're trying to show that this is finally them getting back into their relationship where they're supposed to be from the time that she was cheating on him with Owen.
Yeah. With a different character.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me that he did that at the reception as well.
Yeah, when he steps in and he tries to and they're fully like will they, won't they? And I'm like, why? We've got no reason as audience members to think there's a will they, won't they between Jack and Gwen.
Yeah.
Do you realize, director, no, and yeah, that's one of those moments where the characters just look at the camera, turn the camera around and say, director, literally look at the scene we are filming right now. Look at it. It is a wedding. Now, director, say it with me. Gwen and Reese.
Yeah, but then the director turns around in his chair and is actually just a mannequin the whole time. And it's just like, holy crap!
Then the director turns into the Thing.
The director turns into it.
Has a flailing arms and everything.
And then Kurt Russell turns up.
He rolls over. Kurt Russell turns up, and then what's his face as well? I've got flamethrowers. Yeah, perfect. That's it. All right, can we get off of this episode?
Yeah, please, thank you. Yeah, I feel like it has actually been nearly an hour talking about this stupid episode. We need to rush the next one so that we can talk about Part B, because I want to talk about Part B so much more than this. Behave. So From Out of the Rain had Julian Bleach in it, and there we go. All right, guys, so we're going to go on to... Yeah. No, okay, so From Out of the Rain, let me zip through this. There is no established lore or continuity through line in this entire story, and Julian Bleach is in it. So guys, what do you guys think about From Out of the Rain? Fine, I'll bloody do it. Why is nobody picking it up? I don't want to do it. Okay, From Out of the Rain.
Do it then. I'll just do it. Here you go. Okay, so what happens is the guys, some film guy who
No, I'll do it. I'm jumping in.
Some old-timey film editor is cutting some film. He starts. He while he's doing it, some spooky shit starts happening, and there's a circus that's magically finding its way onto the film. He's freaking out about it, but then the Torchwood guys are coming. It cuts to the Torchwood guys who are coming to this like grand opening of an old cinema, like revamp. So he runs in. He's gone through the rain because for some reason it's raining. It's obviously because of the name of the story. Yeah. He runs in. Only them are wet. Everyone else who walked there also is completely dry. I don't know how that works. No one just knew what was going on. Anyway, he brings the film. They show the film. For some reason, Jack's on it for no reason whatsoever, actually. But then there's more circus stuff, and his dad freaks out. It's like, you're showing the wrong film. I'm Welsh. Everyone's Welsh.
You're Welsh too, kid.
Yep. Everyone's freaking. They're freaking out about it, and then they turn it off, and then it turns out that some shadows come out of nowhere. Yanto's the only one who picks it up, and then it turns out that two people have escaped from the film. They're sucking the life out of people, the last breath of people, which is okay. That's basically what goes down with that. Eventually, they accumulate a bunch of people's souls in a little vial. Eventually, the Torchwood team, for no real reason, figure it out. Like they figure it out based on conjecture.
Why is Tosh the only person who can hear the fairground music? Go.
I think it's because she's the only one who's in the Torchwood hub. And I think that the only place that they actually hear it is near the rift open.
Okay, cool. Thank you, because it was
I think that's why.
the whole episode.
But otherwise, yeah, it's really dumb. But anyway, there's a bunch of different things happening, like just like real like spooky ghost crap, which is really dumb for no real reason.
Correct.
And then
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
pretty much. Like apparently the Torchwood stuff is able to detect where the ocean is, and it seems to think that the ocean's now in the middle of the city for some reason. Which is okay, which has no real relevance to the fact that they're ghosts, other than the fact that one of them was pretending to be a mermaid while she was in the circus. But unless she was an actual mermaid, it doesn't make any sense. So there's that. Anyway, there's like this final confrontation where apparently they figure out that if they refilm the characters and then expose the film, that it'll destroy them.
Oh my god, the third
That's
act.
so dumb.
Why third act, please?
Yeah, and then for some reason, even though very clearly the vial came from inside the film, it didn't disappear when he exposed Julian's character to the sun. But anyway,
correct.
Of course, he throws the because he knows he's about to die for some reason, even though it's not really explained why this chase is going on. He throws the vial, so it lets out a couple of souls, which you'd kind of expect that in this event that they just go back into their body, but apparently that's not the case. If they get released, they die.
No, because you have to have the sad moment, question mark.
Yeah, but anyway, Yanto manages to catch it and is freaking saved them. They take it back. Turns out that it was just this little boy, and they save him. And it's the worst scene of all time. Not only for the fact that that they do this awful, like pick him up and do real sappy stuff.
Real boy, Jack.
Yeah, but then you realize that as much as this is like a nice, happy, like, oh cool, he's like alive now. You realize that he was one of the kids in a big group of family that was in like a van. So his parents and his sisters are both all dead now. Yeah, it's just him. That's not a happy moment.
No, is he gonna get adopted by Gwen and Reese?
Bloody hell, Gwen! What are you doing bringing this child back?
What happened last time? No, but season 1 didn't happen. She was a teenager anyway.
Yeah. So basically, that's it. That's pretty much it. It's real Scooby-Doo.
Yes, that's actually correct. So I'm guessing I get to go now.
Yes.
Because I was very rude and passed the story off to somebody else. I love Julian Bleach. He is one of my favorite performance artists. If you guys ever get the chance, please look up Sprog-Headed Peter. You will question what it means to be human when you see that, or listen to it. I don't know what's going on. I've actually seen it live. I just don't get it. But Julian Bleach was in Sprog-Headed Peter. Is fantastic. He's also New Who's Davros. And he's really good. I mean, like, Terry Malloy will always have a place in my heart, but Julian Bleach is like, there's just something so insane about his Davros that I just can't quite put my finger on. And that's pretty much the only thing that's good about the story is Julian Bleach. I love how actually frightening he is in the story, and it really should have just been like magic. Magic's in the Hooniverse. Just
I mean,
be magic.
The thing is, really, when it comes down to it, is it already was basically magic. As much as they tried to explain it by saying that like the film had captured them somehow. It's as much as just saying that like when that old timey thing, like when you take a picture of someone, that you're capturing their soul, sort of stuff, right?
That was an actual belief.
That was an actual belief. So you could easily have just gone with that, and it's real. There's no scientific basis in any of that. It's fine, but then the idea that they're exposing the film is what destroys them. I mean, that's kind of fair enough, because if they are actually on the film, then if their spirit is on the film and you destroy the film, obviously it gets rid of them. But realistically, the film that they were contained in should have been the original one that they were filmed, right? So you should have just destroyed that instead.
Yep.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose like the idea was that they hopped out of the screen. And talking about hopping out of the screen, last week we talked about Last Action Hero, and this is exactly what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Except that was better.
Yeah.
Basically. Although it was better. Straight up. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things in Last Action Hero, like going totally off topic here, is when Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in that film is like talking to that cartoon cat, and the kid is like, that is a cartoon cat. And Arnie's like, yeah, so? He's like, okay. In the real world, we don't have talking cartoon cats walking around everywhere. So yeah, that was better than this. Was that single scene in Last Action Hero?
I haven't even seen that Last Action Hero, and I agree.
Yeah. So that's my opinion.
Right. My thoughts on this one?
And Charles Dance.
Yes.
But yeah, your thoughts on this one.
Okay, so so they're going to the cinema, alright. Don't know why Ianto and Gwen are going, because that's not really something their characters would do. Who even cares? Who even knows what the characters are? It's just weird that they would voluntarily go with Ianto somewhere, anywhere. Anyway, whatever. Ianto should just go by himself. That's more in character.
Yeah, I agree.
But Gwen's like, oh wow, and I'm like, but it's in your city, Gwen. Surely you should know of a building that's relatively
Yeah, I've been to Cardiff. There's no way she doesn't know where everything is in Cardiff. It is not a metropolitan.
Yeah, and then the projectionist is having his meltdown in front of Jack and Ianto. It's really hard to take the sense. It's hard to take this whole series seriously, really. But this scene is really hard to take seriously because Jack and Ianto are being all serious. The music's being all serious, but I don't know what was going on behind the camera, but that actor playing the projectionist could not keep a straight face if his life depended on it. Yeah, there was a smile playing about his lips the entire time he was delivering his lines.
I love how frustrated you are. Playing about his lips. That's fantastic.
It's I was disengaged at this point, but then I got.
Yeah, there are plenty of hard up actors that need work, and they hired this guy.
Pretty much. like freaking out! I'll save up a couple hundred. I'll go and do it myself. Yes, but anyway. So then I managed to get engaged into the story because Julian Bleach, and
right,
and then I enjoyed it most of the time, and then I don't know why, but I happened to look at the time code. And I realized that there was only like 10 minutes left in the episode. I'm like, oh, you're leaving the entire third act for this?
Right? The third act is so rushed. So rushed.
So, the kid projectionist dude, that guy, calls Jack. How? When did Jack give this kid his number? When did this happen? Can someone explain that?
Yeah, I remember. It was outside the government.
Beyond the police. Everyone's got Torchwood's number.
Right, yeah, everyone. Remember that lady from season 1 who they had to call to let live out of Torchwood Hub?
Alright, so the
This is what he said. They bumped this old lady. Oh, old lady, you know about bloody Torchwood? I sure do. Bloody hate him. Can you give me that Chuck's number, please? Oh, yeah, it's 021. And that's what happened.
Yep. And then it's like the really, 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 really long cell phone ad from the T-Crowd. Anyway, so the geography of this kid's place is weird, okay? So you see people going, you see the torture SUV going up, and they all run in, and it's a nice suburban street, it's like, okay, cool, we know suburbia, this is fine. And then they cut to, we're walking dramatically through a warehouse. I'm like, what? When did we move to this warehouse location? You're not telling me this is in the same location, are you? What is this bullshittery?
Exactly what you want it to be. Outside the government, you better believe it's beyond the police.
It's just like, there's no way that massive warehouse looking thing was fitting in a suburban backyard. No way in hell. That's not happening.
I just love, how does he go from his parents' nice establishment to this random shitty little warehouse thing that looks like it used to hold a couple of trucks for milk deliveries? I was like, where is this?
Yeah. And then it seems like he lives in a shack that's been moved inside of that warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's going on here?
And then I kind of really wasn't paying attention for a while. And then, so Jack needed to get this, we're going to talk about the worst scene ever, briefly. So Jack's giving this kid his last breath back. Okay, whatever, you need to give him the last breath. Fair enough. You kind of need breath. Not for you, Owen.
Harry is in a bloody big tractor. Yeah, Owen, eh?
But, okay, so you need to give him the thing back. Why did you need to physically manhandle this child in order to give him his last breath back? Just throw the fucking vial at him. Who cares? Why does the Jack and Ianto care so much?
Yanto's like bawling his eyes out as well. Like,
I'm
are
pretty
you
sure
Yanto? Are you?
Yeah, like when did they have a meaningful interaction with this kid? I'm pretty sure they didn't.
No, they
Yeah,
didn't.
I know.
It's because he's the only one that Yanto managed.
Yeah,
And apparently that means something
Yeah.
for somebody.
so meaningful, Jack. You know, it reminds me when we're at the local Denny's outside the government beyond the police.
I think something happened. Then something happened at the very end that made me wish that I was watching Classic Who again, because that would have been far better. Basically, so they did this whole dramatic thing of just like, maybe they could still be out there, and they show this car boot sale going on, and there's a film reel, and the Fairgo music plays, and the guy that's buying the old film reel looks, at least I think, he looks like an old Ainley. And I'm just sitting there going, can we have a story in which the master had control of these night travelers? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But those Torchwood were not allowed good stories.
We're not allowed good stories. Torchwood, we're not allowed good stories.
Is that literally the anti?
the anti-Big Finish. We put them in the anti-Big Finish universe. They're in Russell.
I expect you to rename your folders in the cloud now to anti-Big Finish for Torchwood.
I'm going to rename Miracle Day to that anti-Big Finish.
Perfect.
That sums up my. I could have liked it. I liked it for about half, and then it shat all over my aspirations of enjoying a good episode.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens when, like, Russell T, he just has one of those, maple syrup tacos, and he's like, oh, where do I go? I know the script editing room. Oh, Torchwood.
Yeah, it's in the back room of Denny's.
Yeah, it is. Let's go outside the government Denny's. And that's where it is. This episode's just deflating. Harriet Skelly, you got anything?
No. Okay. I like circus music, and it was cool that it was in there for a bit. I like the premise of the idea of some ghosts coming back from the circus days. It's weird that they were like terribly evil. Like, circus folk generally aren't evil, and that perpetration of that stereotype is kind of terrible. If you wanted someone to be like spooky from the circus, should have been a clown. It should have been a clown.
And considering they're in Europe, it could have been like a French like pantomime clown, which would be way scarier.
Like, proper terrifying. And having a clown come back, and like the reason why it's trying to capture souls is because it's like trying to keep itself alive, is the only way it can do it outside of the film. That would make way more sense than them just being like, we need audience members. So, what? How does it get you audience members? Like, they can't laugh if they don't have any breath. Come on.
Owen can gasp, so I don't know. Maybe.
Why can Owen gasp? Please tell me that. Please.
I mean, the thing
Perhaps,
about it is...
Perhaps, I'm clutching at straws here. Perhaps the act of him trying to draw breath is pulling the muscles in such a way that mimics as it would if you're gasping.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that explanation.
I'm not okay with that.
Harry,
Don't worry, us laymen will deal with it. We'll accept it.
That's just no, because if he does have the ability to continue drawing in breath, if that act is possible for him, then why doesn't he just breathe in general? Like,
yeah, and then try and get his heart pumping.
He needs oxygen to be able to move his muscles at all. So why does he not breathe? I don't understand.
Yeah, hey, last week. Hi. Do you want your podcast back?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is just the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And it's because they've the only continuity they care about, the fact that Owen's dead, and it doesn't make any sense because that continuity is extremely stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would not rest on my laurels if I was given a second chance. I'll be like, I'm going to find a way for my body to start working properly again. If I had literal medical science knowledge, I could make that happen.
Yeah.
Just go and head over to Unit and use their resources. Like, yo, let's collab on this. Let's do something.
Or even just like they're just showing that like it's possible that for souls to get captured in film, right? In this, and a bunch of other things that they've proven before when it comes to both magic and other things. There are a myriad of different ways that he could have tried to bring himself back to life, yet he just doesn't.
Jack should have given some of his, like, I don't know, magic to some of his thing, because that's the only thing he can do.
Exactly. Like,
why didn't Owen end up becoming the new Ghostmaker?
Yeah,
that would have been so cool.
Like, can you stop suggesting better stories than this?
What I would have preferred is this to be a two-parter, because A, the world needs more Julian Bleach, and B, we could have fleshed this out more, because there are some incredibly beautiful stylistic choices in this story. One is when they're sitting in the empty pool. I love everything about that shot. I love
the second act so much. Just the first and third act are terrible.
Yeah,
the second act is awesome.
The second act is actually fantastic, especially when they're describing, they're showing, they're showing and not telling this aspect of the Ghostmaker and this mermaid girl. And the fact is that, like, what I was hoping was that she was actually some sort of mermaid. Like, she was actually that thing, especially considering she kept putting water on herself. So you assume that she is actually that, and that just, like, it's not one of those fake outs, that she is actually some supernatural being.
I thought that was meant to be the whole point. Otherwise, how do they get saved in the film?
Exactly, because there's no other real reason. And then the fact that she's, like, constantly the one egging him on as well, like being like, capture them. Like, that's something that happens in the mythos of sirens and mermaids.
Yeah,
is that they will drag you under and drown you. They will take your last breath. That is their point. It would have been so much better, and I feel like that's what they were going for. But then someone at the BBC was like, change places, and all the writers were
so it was the competent director's turn during the second act.
I really feel like a lot of that is actually what happened.
Yeah, I feel like it is. Like, this is the only real explanation for the kind of garbage that happens.
Yeah, because there are like a lot of moments of competency in this. And just like Julian Bleach, like my hat was off to him. He was trying desperately to make this work, and the Ghostmaker is such a wonderful idea. Like, EU needs to pick that up and like run with it.
Especially considering they've basically sealed the deal on the fact that he could come back at any time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good that they can just straight up EU that.
Yeah.
Now, we talked, unfortunately not in podcast, but throughout the week about this story and how it could have been put into used as a prequel to The Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
Yes, so they were just
the Gods of Ragnarok.
They were just the Gods of Ragnarok. I think that they could have, after like rewatching it. So prior to rewatching it, I thought that would have actually suited it very well. But I think watching it, what they could have been is servants of the Gods of Ragnarok.
Yeah, like the circus folk from The Greatest Show.
Exactly. They're effectively what? Well, one thing is that, like, the mermaid thing is that she is actually like part of the Gods of Ragnarok pantheon, and she's the reason why they're able to be captured on film and all that sort of stuff. They would have really sold it.
I like that way better.
They didn't go into the mermaid stuff, and it could have given a whole new life to being like, yeah, mermaids exist on planet Earth, but they were all created by the Gods of Ragnarok. Like, they would have been great, especially considering mermaids. The whole thing about they're also kind of shapeshifters. They appear as beautiful women when they're actually like terrible, devious things. Like, that's the whole
with sirens.
The whole idea.
Their true forms were like corpses, basically.
Yeah, exactly, because they're spirits stuck at sea. So
yeah.
So there we go, guys. Those are way better options. Let's go to a universe where that's what got filmed. Because Julian Bleach as like father and Mermaid Lady as mother, that could have been cool. And I want that. There's so much that already exists in lore for you to pull from. How does that not happen? How do you not pull from this beautiful amount of lore and make something with it?
Yeah.
It's even more frustrating. I mean, with something borrowed, you can just go, oh, this is shit. But this one, it actually had potential.
Oh, so much potential.
It actually makes it even more annoying that it didn't work.
Absolutely. Guys, we've pretty much dragged Part A through the mud. Let's bring it to a close. Any final thoughts before we move on to Part B?
Singularity Scalpel.
Why? Just why do you still know its name? All right, guys.
Don't watch season 1 and 2 of Torchwood.
Yeah, just 3. Don't watch 4. Never happened. It's not canon. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Well, the next half, I suppose, in Part B. I'm so shattered. All right. We'll see you there.